Hello again, everybody. Welcome to USA Wrestling Weekly. I'm Scott Casper. It's time for this week's news from USA Wrestling, the national governing body of our sport. Less than 3 months ago, the entire world was focused on the Olympic Games in London. The competition was exciting for all fans, especially wrestling fans. Team USA came home with 4 Olympic medals and 2 individual champions. This fall, the U.S. Olympic wrestling team will make appearances across the country to thank all the fans who supported them during the Games. The tour dates have been set. Called the Olympic Wrestling Team Thanks America Celebration Tour, stops include Orlando, Florida, New York City, and Los Angeles, California. This project is spearheaded by the United States Wrestling Foundation in cooperation with USA Wrestling. A public rally will be held in each of the tour stop cities where select members of the U.S. Olympic team, including Olympic medalists, will meet fans, sign autographs, and share their stories. Private receptions will be held in each host city for those individuals and businesses interested in continuing or starting a relationship with the United States Wrestling Foundation. Get out your calendars. It's time to take a look at the first tour stop. It's set for Orlando, Florida, November 2nd. The general public rally is scheduled for West Orange High School and Winter Garden starting about 4:15. Olympic gold medalist Jordan Burroughs and national freestyle coach Zeke Jones are among those on the roster scheduled to appear. The tour then heads to New York City, New York. The lucky fans at the Beat the Streets Manhattan Training Center are certain to enjoy the public rally on November 14th. That event is scheduled to start around 4 o'clock Eastern. A freestyle wrestling clinic will be held, followed by appearances from all 4 Olympic champions. Gold medalist Jordan Burroughs and Jake Varner will be joined by bronze medalists Coleman Scott and Clarissa Chun. Other select members of the 2012 Olympic team will be joined in the festivities as well. Now, the final tour stop on the schedule was the host city of the 1984 Olympic Games, the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California. While details of this final stop are still being hammered out, we do know that it takes place Wednesday, December 19th. We'll, of course, keep you up to date on all tour stop details as they become available. We did take the time to talk with national freestyle coach Zeke Jones about why the tour was created.
As you know, we're the only country in the world that is not funded by our government. So Living the Dream Medal Fund is the folks that sent the $5 and $10 checks in, the stewards who graciously gave. We want to thank those people. It's a way that the people in the local communities can touch our Olympians, Olympic champions, and our medalists, and our guys on our team. And I think it's important that we do that. Our guys know that it's important that we do that. And it's just a way to give back and say thank you.
All right, well, join in and celebrate America's success at the Summer Games, the Olympic Wrestling Team Thanks America Tour. Don't miss your opportunity to meet our American Olympic wrestling heroes today. Get more information on all tour dates and locations simply by visiting themat.com. Well, last week, wrestling fans, as we were going to air, the news was just then breaking about the passing of Jeff Blatnick. The 55-year-old Olympic champion and wrestling hero died in his hometown of Schenectady, New York. In 1984, Blatnick inspired a nation at the Olympic Games in Los Angeles. After overcoming a form of cancer called Hodgkin's disease, Blatnick won Olympic gold as a Greco-Roman super heavyweight. To honor Jeff and his achievements, he was chosen by his U.S. teammates in all sports to carry the flag at the closing ceremonies in L.A. Blatnick, a 2-time Olympian, remained active in the sport throughout his life, serving as a television commentator for major events like the Olympic Games and the NCAA Championships. Jeff took many leadership roles within USA Wrestling, including serving as New York's state chairperson. Over the weekend, Jeff's family and friends came together from across the nation to celebrate his life and share stories about the impact that he had on their lives. In spite of Superstorm Sandy that pounded the East Coast, the turnout was large. USA Wrestling Executive Director Rich Bender shared his feelings on the memorial service.
Well, surely, and not surprising, the wrestling community and Jeff's home community there, in the Albany area showed up in force and to support and give tribute to one of the greatest wrestlers that's been of our day, and certainly it was a fitting tribute. In many of Jeff's former friends and teammates and coaches were there to really show support for Jeff's family in this tough time. But it really was a really moving experience, and one that I know Jeff was smiling down from on high when it happened.
Well, USA Wrestling's sanctioned club in the Albany area is the Journeyman Wrestling Club. They're helping to raise funds for Jeff's family. He leaves behind his wife Lori and 2 children, Ian and Nikki. 100% of the donations received by the Journeyman Club will be provided to the family. A special tribute will be held for Jeff at the 10th annual Journeyman A6 Northeast Collegiate Duels, November 24th, where the memorial donations will then be presented to the family. Make your memorial donation to the Blatnick family simply by sending it to the address here on the screen. All of us at USA Wrestling salute the life and legacy of a true hero, our Olympic champion, Jeff Blatnick. We miss you already, big guy. Well, earlier this week, one of the most destructive weather systems to ever hit the U.S. landed in the northeastern part of the country. Always in the leadership role, USA Wrestling is now reaching out to the families in the eastern U.S. so heavily affected by Superstorm Sandy. The extent of the storm's destruction is just now being realized. We're keeping all of those who've been affected by Sandy in our thoughts and prayers as they go through the heartbreaking process of cleaning up and rebuilding their homes, businesses, and lives. There were some cancellations of wrestling note in the region, including some college inter-squad meets. Schools and universities were forced to close for several days in many states, delaying practice for numerous teams. Next weekend begins competition for American college wrestling, and the season is expected to start as scheduled. Included, of course, the NWCA All-Star Classic set for Washington, D.C., Saturday, November 3rd. Well, last week we reported on the USA versus Russia men's freestyle duel meet set for Hofstra University in New York on Sunday, November 11th. Hofstra is located, of course, on Long Island, one of the areas which suffered severe damage during the superstorm. The dual meet, however, is still expected to take place as scheduled. The lineups are being finalized and competition should be exciting as always. 2 past U.S. World Team members are expected to compete, including 2011 World Team member Reese Humphrey at 132 pounds and 2012 U.S. World Team member Les Sigmund at 220 pounds. Both stars live and train in the eastern U.S., Humphrey at Ohio State's Regional Training Center and Sigmund at the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club at Penn State. The preliminary Russian lineup also has been sent. It'll once again be a young and celebrated team coming to New York, headlined by 2012 University World Champion Yuri Belyanovsky at 211 pounds and 2011 Junior World Champion Kitek Sabalov at 145 pounds. Young wrestlers will not want to miss the special clinic held prior to the dual meet at 1 o'clock. It'll feature USA Wrestling National Freestyle coaches Zeke Jones, Brandon Slay, and Bill Zadek. That's scheduled for 1 o'clock. All 3 have been either Olympic or world champions and are highly respected and regarded clinicians. The dual meet is scheduled to start about 2. National coach Zeke Jones talks about the importance of this meet against Russia.
Russia's the #1 team in the world. It's pretty simple. So what we need to do is perform well there. We're going to put some younger guys in the, I say younger guys, some non-national team guys in the lineup, guys that are aspiring to be on the national team, ultimately on the World Olympic team. So I think that's good. You know, Russia's got a good team. I've got a chance to look through their lineup, and they're going to have a good team here. So we're going to have our work cut out to beat them, but I think it's, what we want. We want good competition. The Russians are always that, and we can do it here. And it's always good to do it, in New York, be able to do it in America where our folks can watch it.
Well, stay tuned. There's a lot more coming up around the corner. You're watching USA Wrestling Weekly.
A6 has been there. They've been the lifeblood of the sport. It's been a long time, and they've been at the top of the game every year, forever. And I'll tell you what, now that I think about it, maybe that's where I've gotten my inspiration, because I always want to be in the top of my game in wrestling, and I think that's where A6 is and wants to be as well.
class of 2013 was announced this week by the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. This impressive group of honorees will be formally inducted into the Hall June of 2013 in Stillwater, Oklahoma. 3 Olympic wrestling greats are included among the distinguished list. One of America's greatest Greco-Roman stars, 1996 Olympic silver medalist Matt Ghaffari, made the grade and will be inducted. Competing at heavyweight, Ghaffari won an impressive 4 world and Olympic medals during his career. He won world silver medals in 91 and 98 and a world bronze medal in 1995. Ghaffari also competed in the 1992 Olympic Games. Born in Iran, this naturalized citizen also claimed World Cup and Pan American titles for the U.S. He'll be joined by 1993 World Freestyle Champion and 2-time Olympian Melvin Douglas. Douglas will receive the honors at the Hall. Douglas won 3 career world medals for the U.S., a gold in 93, a bronze in 94, and 95. Douglas also competed in 96 and 2000 at the Olympic Games. He was a 2-time NCAA champ for Oklahoma and a junior national champ from Kansas. Dan Chandler has been one of the nation's top Greco-Roman figures for decades now. He's made a huge impact as both an athlete and coach. One of the great Greco stars from Minnesota, Chandler made 3 U.S. Olympic teams in 76, 80, and 84, along with numerous world teams as well. He's coached several world and Olympic medalists with Minnesota Storm Club and was head coach of the 2000 Olympic team. Chandler continues to impact today's generations within USA Wrestling. Now, the 4th inductee is collegiate wrestling star and coach Ron Gray. He captured a pair of NCAA titles for Iowa State. Gray was 2nd at the NCAAs in 57, then won titles in 58 and 59. He was the outstanding wrestler in the 1959 NCAA tournament held at the University of Iowa. With a total of 31 years of coaching at the D1 level, Gray was head coach at Franklin and Marshall and then on at Kent State as well, affecting the lives of hundreds of young men. On next week's broadcast, we'll share with you the special award honorees from the Hall of Fame class of 2013. Well, USA Wrestling hosted its popular Fall Coaches Clinic at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado recently. Coaches from across the country and all state associations came together for a series of technique and training sessions to help advance the quality of wrestling in their state and region. Well, the project is managed by USA Wrestling National Coaches Education Program Manager Cody Bickley. He brought together a really talented staff to work with the coaches. Among the clinicians, respected high school and Greco-Roman coach Gary Mayab from Missouri, Greco-Roman Olympian and world silver medalist Brad Bering, and OTC men's freestyle resident athlete and NCAA runner-up Chase Pammy. 2 of USA Wrestling's national coaches also gave extensive clinics. Brandon Slay, the assistant national freestyle coach and 2000 Olympic gold medalist, provided an extensive freestyle clinic covering a number of important technical areas in freestyle. He had just returned from a 2-week tour to Russia and Finland to see cutting-edge technique. Slay also gave an inspiring speech about selling the Olympic dream.
It's hard to sell the dream because who do you tell the kids about it? Who do you put on the front of the magazines with their Olympic gold medals? If we don't have those guys doing that, then it's tough to sell it, right? It's tough to sell the dream when they can't see the dream take place. I mean, yeah, you keep talking about the Henry Sudos and the Cale Sanderson, the Brandon Slays, and those guys that down the road in the past, but we need the fresh, new crop of studs to go win gold medals so we can sell them that dream.
National women's coach Terry Steiner gave 2 different technique clinics explaining various strategies, including defense on the feet as well as turns on the mat, and an extensive ankle lace series as well. Steiner also spoke with the coaches about their importance in teaching more than wrestling and helping young people to become outstanding citizens on and off the mat.
Our goal is very simply stated by the USOC and USA Wrestling. World and Olympic titles. They want medals. Our mission better be a lot larger than that. Our mission better be to develop human beings. People that can stand on their own 2 feet. People that can deal with adversity. People that can walk out into life and face anything that's going to happen. Because you know it as well as I do, this is easy compared to what life hands us.
We also took the chance to talk to 2 of the state-level coaches in attendance. Bill Terrell is a coach from New Jersey who's been active with New Jersey's junior and cadet national teams for many years now. He was excited about what he learned at the clinics.
The different Olympians that were here that we got an opportunity to meet. It makes a big difference. It gives us a much more connection, okay, with our Olympic program with USA Wrestling.
Brent Harvey is an active club coach in Michigan, leading the Michigan girls wrestling program, and has been working to improve himself as a coach and assist athletes in reaching their dreams.
The reason why I came here is I expect my kids to train constantly. They're training, they're getting better, they're performing. I try to get them to perform at the national, world's highest level. So when I expect my kids to train, I feel it's my obligation to come to these kinds of things and to gain as much knowledge as I can and pass it on to those kids that I work with.
Well, stay tuned. There's a lot more coming up around the corner. You're watching USA Wrestling Weekly.
Each season, Liberty Mutual's Responsible Sports Community Grant Program awards $65,000 to youth sports organizations and school sports programs that demonstrate their commitment to responsibility in youth sports. Your organization could be one of our 20 winners this season. It's easy. Simply visit responsiblesports.com and click on the Community Grant Program. Administrators register their organization with the program, then reach out to rally parents, coaches, and team supporters to log on and review either the Responsible Sports Parenting or Responsible Coaching Guide. Then complete the quiz and showcase your mastery of the concepts. Every successfully passed quiz is worth a point that you can credit to your favorite youth sports organization or school sports program. Connect with friends, family, and neighbors to rally more support. The teams and schools with the most points at the end of the grant period win. It's that simple. Watch the leaderboard throughout the grant season, then rally more of your supporters to increase your totals. Liberty Mutual is committed to celebrating and championing youth sports and to financially supporting organizations that demonstrate their commitment to responsible sports. Join the movement and start earning points toward your community grant.
Colorado Springs is the home of USA Wrestling's national headquarters, as you well know, and it's also the site of the United States Olympic Committee and the OTC, the Olympic Training Center. This year was the 13th year that the Colorado Springs Sports Hall of Fame has inducted local sports legends. At the induction ceremonies this week, 2 wrestling greats with a connection to the Springs were added to the list of sports heroes honored. Wayne Bachman got his wrestling career started as a high school and college athlete in Oklahoma, but it was in Colorado Springs where he became one of the nation's top Olympic athletes and coaches. Bachman became a top star in international wrestling while serving in the United States Air Force, making 3 Olympic teams. He also served as coach for 2 Olympic teams, including as head coach of the 1976 Olympic freestyle squad. For 27 years, Bachman served as the head wrestling coach at the U.S. Air Force Academy, coaching a number of All-Americans and helping mold great military leaders for our country. Today, Bachman still resides in Colorado Springs, where he is enjoying his retirement. Bachman had this to say during the question and answer period of the induction ceremony.
And, the Air Force Academy cadets aren't perfect. They're as close as they get. The Air Force Academy is not perfect, but it's as close as they get. They've got the best senior leadership team I've ever been around in my 50 years of experience. So we had some really good people. I turned down the opportunity right after I retired from the Air Force to go back to Oklahoma, and then eventually did go back to the Air Force Academy as a civilian. But my coach couldn't believe I turned him down at Oklahoma, and he said, "Why would you turn me down?" I said, "Well, I said, I love Oklahoma and I love the people of Oklahoma, but I love Colorado, I love the high, dry climate. I love the people, I love Colorado Springs, which is a sports city."
Well, Dwayne Goldman grew up in Colorado Springs, where he was an outstanding wrestler for Cheyenne Mountain High School. Goldman won state high school titles for Cheyenne Mountain in 79 and 81 with an 85-2 career mark. He went on to compete for the legendary one Dan Gable at Iowa, winning the 86 NCAA title, ending his career as a 4-time NCAA finalist with 3 runner-up finishes. He served 20 seasons now as the head coach at Indiana, coaching 3 NCAA champs himself and 25 All-Americans. Goldman returned home to the Springs and to the ceremony.
I always recall a Jimmy Connors quote that I still have pinned on my wall that says, I hate to lose more than I like to win. I hate to see the smile on their faces if they beat me. And that's really not conducive to, while we want to win, collegiate athletics and the big picture. We try to take a little more than that, but we've had a lot of success with a lot of athletes.
Well, both Bachman and Goldman join a pair of wrestling greats in the Colorado Springs Hall of Fame, Olympic champ Rulon Gardner and Olympian and former USA Wrestling Executive Director Jim Shear. One of the special award winners was a Colorado Springs attorney who's worked with USA Wrestling now for many years. The Thayer Tutt Award for service to the sports community in Colorado Springs went to Tom James, who is not only USA Wrestling's attorney, but also works with several other national governing bodies in the city.
All of you out there, thank you. Each and every one of you in your own way does something special to support this community and the sports community in particular. So I say tonight, thank you to all of you very much.
Well, on behalf of all of us at USA Wrestling, a special congratulations and thanks to all of this year's inductees. Your contributions to the sport are valued indeed. Thank you. October 25th was declared Dan Gable Day by Iowa Governor Terry Branstad. A special ceremony was held to honor Iowa's most popular sports figure at the National Wrestling Hall of Fame Dan Gable Museum in Waterloo. Gable's wrestling career is legendary, of course, a three-time Iowa State high school champion. Gable went on to Iowa State, where he won 2 NCAA titles and a silver medal, finishing with a career record of 117-1. He went on to success in freestyle wrestling, claiming a 1971 world title and then a 1972 Olympic gold medal for the U.S. His amazing work ethic and intensity made Gable an international sports sensation during the '72 Munich Games. He went on to become one of the greatest coaches in history, leading Iowa to an amazing 15 NCAA championships and 21 Big Ten titles during his 21 years with the Hawkeyes. Gable also coached a number of U.S. Olympic wrestling teams, including the legendary '84 team, which had 7 champions. Governor Branstad was there to celebrate Gable's legacy, and Gable gave a speech to many wrestling fans and leaders who came out to honor his contributions to the heritage of the state. Congratulations to Coach Gable, and thank you for all that you've done.
Anytime you get an honor that can go a long ways, you always get more opportunities. But it's not about me, even though it can benefit me, but it can benefit the sport of wrestling. It can benefit a lot of youth. It can benefit a lot of people that just need a little bit of a mentor. And so, it's got to be more than just this day.
Iowa coach Tom Brantz.
I mean, you have a wrestler with that kind of iconic status, and he's impacting generations. I mean, he's impacting young kids that are learning to wrestle, little 5-year-olds. Because the name Gable synonymous with wrestling, that's positive because with Gable it goes beyond wrestling, but it's still wrestling. So there's a lot to gain from that, I think.
Well, stay tuned. There's a lot more coming up around the corner. You're watching USA Wrestling Weekly.
There comes a point in your life that determines who you are, whether you will lead or follow, whether you will fight or give in, whether you will win or lose, and what you will count as your victory.
Both of these guys are explosive, and it's not over. This is going to be a great match.
USA Wrestling is pleased to announce a strategic marketing partnership and media program with Cliff Keen Athletic, one of the nation's leading wrestling equipment manufacturers and suppliers. This wrestling leader, based in Ann Arbor, Michigan, will showcase its wrestling-specific brand at a number of USA Wrestling tournaments and through various USA Wrestling media outlets. Beginning this upcoming year, Cliff Keen will sponsor several USA Wrestling Premier Youth events and tournaments, beginning with USA Wrestling's Cliff Keen Preseason Nationals in Cedar Falls, Iowa, this coming weekend. USA Wrestling welcomes welcomes Cliff Keene Athletics to its family of partners and looks forward to working together to build wrestling across the country. Well, it's time now for our USA Wrestling Photo of the Week contest. The pictures are sent in by wrestling families and fans from around the country and are being considered for the photo contest page in USA Wrestler magazine, as well as for our USA Wrestling Facebook page. This week, our Photo of the Week is taken by Stephanie Vanek. It depicts Willowbrook High School freshman Tommy Vanek of Illinois locking up an opponent in a recent match. Have your photographs considered for USA Wrestling's photo contest simply by emailing them to Gary Abbott at gabbott@usawrestling.org. Well, that'll do it for this week's show. For all of us at USA Wrestling, thanks for watching. I'm Scott Casper. Good night.